Hi, it's Dr. Elisha Van Dusen at New Hope Chiropractic. According to the World Health Organization, depression is now the leading cause of ill health and disability worldwide. It affects an estimated 322 million people across the world, and this includes more than 16 million Americans. Globally, the rates of depression increased by 18% between 2005 and 2015. According to the U.S. National Institute of Mental Health, 11% of Americans over the age of 12 are on some kind of antidepressant drugs, and among women in their 40s and 50s, 1 in 4 is on some kind of antidepressant drug. In addition to this human suffering, the financial impact of depression is really severe as well. World Health Organization estimates the global economic loss by households, employers, and governments is at least $1 trillion annually. That's a lot of money. Depression is also strongly linked to an increased risk of substance abuse, diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and of course suicide. So with so many people on antidepressant drugs and also resulting possible suicides as side effects from these drugs, the non-drug solutions for depression are really important, and addressing your nutrition is perhaps the best place to start if you're feeling depressed. And foods have an immense impact on the body, especially the brain, and eating whole foods will best support your mental and physical health, actually. Avoiding processed foods, sugar, grains. This is particularly important in helping to normalize insulin levels and leptin levels, which is an important contributing factor for depression. And certain nutrients are also known to cause symptoms of depression when lacking, and specific herbs and nutritional supplements can also help counteract the symptoms. So vitamin D and sun exposure is very important. Many studies have shown that vitamin D deficiency can predispose a person to depression, and that depression can respond favorably to optimizing your vitamin D stores. And ideally, you can get this by regular sun exposure. In one study, people with vitamin D levels below 20 nanograms per milliliter had an 85% increased risk of depression in comparison with those with a level greater than 30 nanograms per milliliter. Also, omega-3 fats, or DHA, that's perhaps the single most important nutrient for optimal brain function, and it thereby prevents depression. While you can obtain DHA from krill or fish oil, it's far better to obtain it from clean fish like wild Alaskan salmon or sardines, herring, anchovies, and types of seafood like that. So low DHA levels have been linked to depression, memory loss, schizophrenia, and even Alzheimer's disease. Folate and other B vitamins are also important. A low dietary folate is a risk factor for severe depression and raises your risk by as much as 300%. If you're using a supplement, I suggest methylfolate, as this form of folic acid is most effective. Other vitamin B deficiencies like B1, B2, B3, B6, B12 also have the ability to produce symptoms of depression and neuropsychiatric disorders. Vitamin B12 deficiency especially can contribute to depression and affects 1 in 4 people. Eating plenty of fruits and veggies, that's associated with lower odds of depression and anxiety. Antioxidant-rich foods, and they also help curb and decrease inflammation in the body. St. John's wort is a medicinal plant that has long historical uses for depression, and it's thought to work similarly to antidepressants. It raises brain chemicals associated with moods, good moods like serotonin, dopamine, and noradrenaline. SAMe, that's adenosylmethionine, that's an amino acid derivative that occurs naturally in all cells. It plays a role in many biological reactions and transfers a methyl group to DNA, proteins, phospholipids, and biogenic amines. And it's several scientific studies have shown that this may be useful in treating depression. 5-HTP, it's another natural alternative to traditional antidepressants. When your body sets about manufacturing serotonin, it first makes 5-HTP, and then taking 5-HTP as a supplement that can raise serotonin levels. And studies also shown that 5-HTP outperforms a placebo when it comes to alleviating depression, which is a lot more than can be said about most antidepressants. And prebiotics and probiotics. Your mental health is closely linked and related to your gut health, and a number of studies have confirmed chronic inflammation, and especially GI inflammation, that this can play a critical role in developing depression symptoms. Researchers have actually suggested depression may be a neuropsychiatric manifestation of chronic inflammatory syndrome. Your gut is considered to be your second brain, created from identical tissue as your brain during gestation. It's important to understand that your gut bacteria are an active and integrated part of serotonin regulation, and actually can produce more serotonin than your brain. So optimizing your gut flora is a key part of the equation to optimize serotonin levels. Gut bacteria also play a role in GABA regulation and lower the stress-induced hormone corticosterone. And this results in reduced anxiety and depression-related behavior. So be sure to eat plenty of fresh vegetables and traditionally fermented foods as well. Good choices include fermented vegetables, lassi, sauerkraut, natto. If you don't eat fermented foods on a regular basis, take a high-quality probiotic supplement. Also remember to severely limit sugars, especially fructose, as well as grains. This helps rebalance the gut flora. As a standard recommendation, I also suggest limiting your daily fructose from all sources to 25 grams per day or less. Also evaluate your salt intake. Sodium deficiency creates symptoms that are very much like those of depression, so make sure you don't use processed salt, like regular table salt. You want to use an all-natural, unprocessed salt like Himalayan salt. That's good. And it contains more than 80 different micronutrients and minerals. Make sure your cholesterol levels aren't too low either. Low cholesterol is linked to dramatically increased rates of suicide as well as aggression toward others. This increased expression, violence, for example, toward yourself or to other people, may be due to the fact that low membrane cholesterol decreases the number of serotonin receptors in your brain. And those receptors are approximately 30% cholesterol by weight. So lower cholesterol in your serum, lower concentrations of this can contribute to decreasing brain serotonin, and this not only contributes to suicide-related depression, but also prevents the suppression of aggressive behavior and violence towards yourself and other people. So following lifestyle factors too can play an important role in depression. Exercise is important. Many studies have shown that there's a strong correlation between improved mood and aerobic capacity, and that can be a greater aerobic capacity can be achieved with exercise. And it also creates new GABA producing neurons that help induce a natural state of calm, boost your levels of serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine. These are all important neurotransmitters which help buffer the effects of stress. Sleep and depression are also closely linked, but a sleep disorder is actually part of the definition of the symptom complex that gives the label of depression. So ideally, get about 8 hours of sleep each night, and also address factors that can impede good sleep. Also, lots of EMF exposure from electronic devices, power lines, high voltage cables, Wi-Fi routers. All this stuff is also damaging to your ability to sleep properly, get a good night's sleep in your bedroom. So limit these in your bedroom. Also spend more time outdoors. It's been shown to dramatically improve people's mood and reduce symptoms of depression. And also just good stress management. Stress and depression, it's typically a sign that things are out of balance. So seek to get your life back on balance. It's a sign that you've veered too far off course, so address the factors that may be throwing your life out of kilter and out of balance, and they're creating extra stress and therefore depression. So I hope these techniques help, and you can also see more on this topic at newhopechiropractic.com. And as always, we're available for complimentary consultation to see if chiropractic is right for you. for a healthier nervous system. And with that, I hope you have a happy and a healthy day.